We're going live. It's the 2nd of September, and this is your Crypto Daily Debrief. So, let's start off with most important thing of the day. This is your crypto news, Camino Finance. I'm going to be talking about this, and in particular, sorry, I'm just trying to get like a really good hook so that for the editing it makes a little bit more sense. 1 second. I am very bullish on Camino Finance. All right, what should I say here? 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys and girls. Today's crypto news, we're talking about a token and a dApp that I'm very, very excited for. It's out, you know what it is, but people probably don't have enough exposure. In addition to that, what is actually happening throughout September? I think it's going to be not a very good month, but we'll go over that now. Let's jump into the first thing, the thing I'm most excited for. So, the thing I'm most excited for is Camino Finance. And the number of people that are probably fading this, I really don't want you to actually fade it. So I want anyone that's not using it to put more attention on it. I've done a thread on this. I'm going to talk you through a few things and why I think this has the potential in terms of the actual dApp to go from 1.5 billion in TVL to over 10 billion, and also for the token price, which is beneath 5 cents. This is not financial advice, but this should be a pretty comfortable 10x or more. That's my opinion. So bookmark this thread. It will be linked below at the end. But what is Camino Finance? It's a DeFi protocol. I think everyone knows that. One really cool thing is the fact that just in 2022, when it was around, the TVL was tiny. In fact, even here last year, the TVL was absolutely tiny, and now it's got $1.4 billion worth of TVL. Meanwhile, others are not growing. Drift is growing a little bit, and some of the EVMs are, but MarginFi and Solana, Save, they're not doing really, really well. Now, my honest take is the fact that the UI and UX is just so clean that even people that were airdrop farming it stuck around at the end to actually continue using the dApp. It was that clean. And if you want to, if you think, for example, that it's new on my radar, or I don't have a lot of conviction, or haven't done my research, you can just go Sid Montgomery, check out on YouTube, and then put in Camino in this search bar here, and you will see the fact that I have mentioned Camino like 100 times, and I've got a lot of good videos on it, which like this, where I just show you like how to use it. So very, very bullish on this. Now, the reason is like, why is this so important to the ecosystem? I want to talk about their flywheel approach in a second, but why is this actually important? The thing is that there are so many layer ones to choose from. There's so many layer ones, and we all know that, you know, there's a lot of liquidity on EVMs, yet the Ethereum price isn't doing well. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we're all here for our bags to go up. Ideally, I'd love it if, you know, Web3 actually manages to improve people's rights and quality of life and all that sort of stuff. And I think that will be the case. I think DAOs have an excellent use case, but it'll take some time to actually make them magical. But the reality is, money goes where it's treated best. If it's safe returns, if it's a safe audited dApp with higher returns, then money will come there. And when money comes there, people start to play on other things. So imagine you have $50 million on EVMs and you can get more on Camino. You can bridge across, there's like no slippage, or you can just withdraw it via a centralized exchange. And then you start to earn more. That person will then start to actually accumulate some SOL, you know, use Jupiter, buy some NFTs, do all these things. So it actually enhances the actual entire base layer. That's how things become far more successful, from their actual dApps. So my belief is more money on Solana, more builders, more DJs, more gains, more smiles. I do think that they're going for a more of an approach similar to like Jupiter, with the CAT approach, with certainty, alignment, and transparency, coined by Meow. This has not been confirmed or anything. I'll ask the team if we can ever do a podcast, but that's what I'm seeing is more like that. Now, if we come on down, we've got what's called, and this is all been mentioned in their governance posts, but they have what's called a flywheel, and they've got 4 pillars. We're going to come on down to the bottom where the links are, and just honestly read this. It's super, super worthwhile. I do want to take a little bit of time on this because this has an exceptional amount of conviction from me, crazy amount of research. And I think this is like the only DeFi dApp really to be using for the most part. So this is the governance post. It goes over the fact of they need to create a flywheel, and there's going to be 4 major components. These components are very, very simple. And there's the 4, I've just gone past it. Sorry. Products. So good products. The fact that you can go to Camino, you can do things that are like DeFi related in terms of farming. Then you can do borrow and lending, and then you can multiply and you can leverage, and other things coming as well. The Camino token to align everything. Revenue, you need revenue in order to pay the team and, to pay for bills and that sort of stuff. And then you've got the community. So the community alignment. This is the thing that people haven't got in previous cycles. They've gone purely on just whales jumping in, speculating, things go up, and then that's it. And really early people, they did well, and no one else did. For the most part, like Aave is a great tool. I love it. But you had to be really early to actually get the Aave token. And that was fine. They did nothing wrong. Tokenomics and distribution always changes each cycle, and they were earlier than this. Like it was a very different time when they're building. But what they have is they have what's called a flywheel. And a lot of people don't understand what a flywheel actually is. So you have a product, right? Camino Multiply, and you've got revenue. The revenue needs to be enough to comfortably pay the team and to be able to hire proper talent. Like a good dev is not cheap. Then you've got the Camino token, and then you've got the community. The Camino token is used for governance. It's used as in like it's upside for the team. They obviously get unlocks. They can sell their token. They can do OTC deals, or they can sell it on the market. There's no restrictions on that. They have unlocks, which we'll cover in a tokenomics video another day. Then we've got community. So community it's you and I, and it's the tens of thousands of people that use it. And if we have some upside to holding Camino, then this is what makes everything improve. It makes this thing work. So as I mentioned, I've got this video here. And first I want to just mention what is a flywheel. So typically a flywheel is, so it's a heavy revolving wheel in a machine. It's used to increase the machine's momentum. So if you have a look at this kind of picture, this picture here, you can see when this is being pushed around, there's a certain stage where it just kind of rotates around the next stage. And you get this momentum. You're using NG in a mechanical sense that actually allows it to go to conserve NG and to push. And as you go faster and faster, it pushes faster and faster. So essentially a flywheel is something which makes things go longer and longer and longer, and they grow and grow, and they continue to grow like a ball of snow that goes down and it just goes bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, flywheels, they're thrown around in a way which they're disrespectful. People use them as a little bit of a buzzword, more of a buzzword last cycle, but still a bit of a buzzword. And they fail. Like this is Celsius. Celsius is a failure. CEO did very, very bad things. It lost a lot of people a lot of money. Don't want to say like what he's guilty of in case I've got it wrong. But they created the Celsius flywheel. And what they did is they created it so that their token, if you got paid out in their token, you would get more tokens. And then you would want to continue to use this. You would buy more sell. The customers would earn yield, and they would buy sell off the market in order to pay it back to people or give it to people as yield, which would then increase things. In the end, this Celsius token did absolutely wonderfully and then absolutely terrible. But that's nothing related to the actual Celsius token. It's the fact that they lended out their crypto, your crypto, to people that didn't have collateral, and they couldn't pay it back in the previous cycle crash. So how is this actually going to work? Let's just go straight with this idea. So you've got your products, and there'll be more products added. As more and more people use those, they will generate more revenue. That revenue, as I said, it'll get people a more dedicated team. The other thing is, if you take all the revenue, like Pump.Fund does, and they don't give anything back, they are easy to vampire attack. If you get too greedy, and if you don't make your community eat well, then you will fail. Ultimately, you'll fail. Pump.Fund is still the number one thing on Solana, but it will be eaten by someone that takes some of that revenue and actually promotes it back, and maybe pump.fund then pivots. So you take some of that revenue, and this is linked to Camino. Exactly how, like, I don't know. Like, you could do buybacks and burns if you wanted to. You could buy some token and whatnot. But either way, you know that your revenue and your Camino is strongly linked. What you could do, let's say you had $50 million worth of revenue, and it costs $20 million to keep the team running. This is in a year, and then you could take like 10 million for like reserves or whatever, and then 20 million could just be used to give people Camino tokens that you buy from the floor, so from the market, or you could just give people a more juicy yield, which gives them more Camino tokens. The Camino tokens that you get from using the point system, this is relevant because with community, you can create like a working group like you can with Jupiter, and then you can start to promote Camino, because essentially the only way this works is if there's 2 million or so people actually using Camino, which is a lot of people, in order to get to 10 billion. Could be less, could be more. That's just a rough guess that I've got. But ultimately, everything works with each thing. And as soon as you take out one thing, like if you don't respect your community, then you are expecting failure. And so they're working on this flywheel, and I'm excited for this. Now, I've been talking too long on this. Let's jump onto some other stuff. Either way, check it out. It's not to be faded. JLP multiplier is cooking. So if you want to check out this, it's earning out lower APR just because of the fact that it's actually JLP is not getting a lot of attention right now. You can do it here. And as soon as more leverage comes into the system, you'll see this pump up. So I think this is a good time to accumulate some JLP, not financial advice. Got a video on it. It's on the Jupiter's exchange channel. Now, the actual tokens of our layer ones are the things we look at. Things are down. Things are kind of bad. To be perfectly honest, September's not going to be very lucrative. Bitcoin and ETH has just bounced up slightly, and Solana's just bounced up. But overall, look, we're down almost, it's 18% and 8% for these big ones. And there are, unfortunately, some even bigger failures or throughout the week, like Flocky has not done well, obviously, after the cat airdrop. But all this, I think, it's momentary. Because greed right now, the fear and greed is very, very high. Of course, this flicks fast as anything. And typically, buying when things are fearful, the things that you like, is a positive play. Now, the actual returns that you normally get, this is a good thing from CoinGlass to show what we look like in terms of quarters each year, or maybe even months down here as well. So this is just Ethereum and Bitcoin. So quarter 3, right in this lucrative cycle, this went up. However, quarter 4 tends to be more green, and quarter 3 tends to not do so well. You can see that here. So if you're wondering why, like if it's all over, it's not. It's pretty much running the way it does. And September does tend to be a very down month. October tends to be quite good. And remember, quarter 4 is generally stronger. So just keep that in mind. There are some key dates to watch in September, and the 18th of September in particular. And this is relating to the fact that they were going to work out what are they going to cut the interest rate? Are they going to put it up or whatnot? I'm going to have a strategy that I'm going to talk about and show on like this. I'll release it. This is during breakpoint time, so I'll release it before then on how we could potentially do well with this. Meme coins are tanking since they're high earlier this year, but some of these are going to absolutely melt faces. So, this could be a time when you want to start dollar cost averaging into some meme coins. A whale has accumulated a significant amount of WIF, and I need to get some more research from my researcher, but he sees a particular pattern with WIF at these lows. It bounces harder than bonk. So you could potentially buy a little bit of WIF, set it at a level to take profits, and then just rinse and repeat. Either way, there's some accumulation here. Who knows what else is happening up there? In particular, though, Sol, we will often talk about putting in some stink bids in case we get, these wicks down here and they get filled, which doesn't happen very often. But if it does happen, then you're absolutely fortunate. And a stink bid is like something that's unlikely to happen, like 190, 110. But if it does happen, you're like, great, I got that, I got that discounted, and it typically will bounce up quickly. The actual real kind of level of support and where it bounces off is around this at 130. It doesn't really, like, you can see since April we haven't gone lower. But you can also see the zones where things have been trading. So, this has been considerably down, bam, 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 and just even buying it at this point, selling it here, waiting for it to come down to this, and then selling it not at this level, but a little bit before. That could be a strategy that you want to use. You're just going within a range, and the range has been proven true for quite some time. Remember, if you want to use DCA, the best tool is Jupiter DCA, and you can also do limit orders here as well. You just go and take $100, buy some Sol, and just flick in the level you want, 110 or whatever. Now let's have a look at the Solana calendar. Everyone should have this bookmarked. Reminder: stake your Sol with Validator.com. I am the general manager of Validator.com. I have a vested interest in doing it well, and doing well, but also we are a trusted validator. So check that out. And then Solana calendar. Let's go have a look at the second. We've got a few things here, nothing too much, but more and more stuff is coming on and coming on. So this is going to get busier and busier. Please make sure that it's bookmarked. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on things. You're going to miss out on airdrops. You're going to miss out on claiming things. I don't want that to happen. The JLP pool is currently earning just 27%. So whenever this is APR, it's 24%. So annual percentage rate, and then yield compounded is 27. So it's a little bit lower. This is as low as I've seen it happen quite some time. So the markets are probably not going to have a whole lot of crazy volatility. People are not sure if they're longing or shorting in general. Moonwalk Fitness, you need to get your steps in if you can. 10,000 steps. If you can do this, you can compete for $1,000 in additional ACS prizes with Access Protocol. Check it out. Use the link below in this tweet. And Magic Eden here, they've got a $100,000 prize pool. It's not my wallet of choice. Magic Eden, I've spoken about them many times. They're fine with me. I like Magic Eden. I like the people there. They didn't do the best things in like a year or a couple of years ago with removing royalties. They had to do what was best for their company, and in some ways, they really, really hurt the ecosystem. But they're trying to do, like, that was in the past. They're trying to push everything further and further. And as we're not just concerned with Solana, we are concerned with multiple blockchains. This is a good chance for you to get onto Base and check this out. I need to look into what this $100,000 base, this prize pool is. But Echelon here, this relates to like a card game called Parallel. And I mentioned this in my Golfin video. If you want to check that out, $100,000 prize pool. Need to work out more information on that, but you can click on the link. You need to use specifically Magic Eden's wallet. Remember, Solflare, I'm a Solflare maxi, happy to do so. But for this, you can check this out to see if you win. You're looking at around 5 cents in ETH gas fees, apparently. NX Finance, the final 3 hours is here. This has been done. So this actually was lots of success, and I mentioned it like for the last few days, except for Sunday, which was a day off. And the final 3 hours is here, and you had to see if you were whitelisted, and they raised 4,300 Sol, which is like $500,000 or thereabouts, and then they're going to have a public round here. I mean, I know I would have mentioned this in different tweets, but it'd be good to see how many tokens you're getting for this. And we can't see that clearly in this UI. So that doesn't make perfect sense. But still, congratulations. It's kind of hard to create to get money in this environment, to be honest. And they've done well. It's only $500,000, but that's still really good work. I wasn't expecting it to go in 2 minutes, and no, I did not jump in. Drip has some news. There's a new update, so you can check your rank. This is a monthly progression, and you gather XP by securing collectibles and winning auctions. The rarer the collectible, the more you get. This is, you just come here, you log in. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. just follow the things. We can do a tutorial on need if it's needed. With Drip.house, we don't know if there's going to be an airdrop. Like, I think there would be in the future. Either way, what they need to do is they need to actually become this hub for like creators, and then have value, and then have revenue, and then they probably need to do a flywheel approach like Camino, like Jupiter, have that kind of aspect where the community is invested. In the meantime, I like it. It's supporting artists. It's very, very valuable. Give this a go if you like art. CryptoClass, I'm the founder of CryptoClass, and we are putting out more and more content over there. Just starting with some threads first. So Sony's Soneium, the big dogs from PlayStation. Check this out. Make sure you've actually done this. You just need a bridge. Very, very simple. You can go and get some like test ETH from one wallet and then bridge it over to another. You do need to have a GitHub account, which is not difficult to do. Make sure you do that. Reminder, Breakpoint. Who is going to Breakpoint? I hope I'll see some of you there. Buy tickets now to Solana Burning Man. $500 is a ticket price, and as I mentioned, you're probably looking around five grand when you factor in flights and everything like that. But very well worth actually getting there. So I hope to see some people here, and if you can't get there, I will be covering content on it. I've got this video which talks about everything to do, and this relates to Singapore in general as a crypto kind of person. So if you're also going to Token 2049, or if you're just only going to Token 2049, then you can, if you pay with USD, you can use my code as SebMonty10, get you 10% off. But this is like $700 or so a ticket. I think early bird is going to end very soon. So if you are going, get it now before you're paying double the amount. And finally, are we in NFT season? No, I do not think so. However, Herman's in particular, I mentioned this at like 0.8, and they've gone up. I haven't sold it. I don't plan on selling it, but I'm pleased to see that they are doing well. I want to find out exactly what their mission is, and ideally do a podcast. So if anyone's keen on that, let me know below. Let's jump into the actionables now, and then we'll take some questions as per normal. So remember, actionables, DCA, Sol, and Dupe, and stake with Validate.com. Ensure you won't be liquidated if Sol goes lower, like I'm referring to something like Camino if you've got a loan out. Do moonwalk fitness challenges. Don't be if you've got the time, make sure you do it. Or if you're going to walk anyway, you may as well be doing that. Book your tickets to Breakpoint and Token 2049, and mint Echelon exclusive on Base Network using Magic Eden mobile wallet. You can use Magic Eden wallet mobile because you get more points, but you can also just use their desktop one as well. Now, airdrop actionables. Camino's due to Sol Meteor Pool. This gets Met points. People, you want some exposure to Meteor, and this is the easy way to do it because DLMMs are hard. Remember to mint your Solana ID priority pass for exclusive solid perks and airdrops. Try and get yourself into business class or first class. And in general, just stake 20 million bonk with bonkrewards.com. Use JLP. It's that lossless lottery system. Give it a go. Don't expect that to have a crazy airdrop or anything like that. I'll just be completely honest. But it could be worthwhile. You could win decently. And follow CryptoClass Link's Soneium airdrop guide. That's everything for today. Make sure you do the actionables, and I'll catch you in the next video. Okay, so power through. Let's take some questions, and I'll show a little bit about a couple things on Camino just so people are fully aware. So, all right, let's have a look. Go up to the beginning. So I saw this. I've mentioned it now, but I didn't take part. I didn't expect it to go in 2 minutes, to be honest. And remember, you can also use it and get some tokens allocated as well. Either way, they've been quite transparent with me, and I really do hope they do well. And this is certainly a low market cap, so we need to get a little bit more information within 22 hours to talk about how that public launch is going to go. Ideally, I just get them on a podcast. The XP rewards on Drip have started. Yep. It's such an easy UI. I don't think I need to do a tutorial, but start to boost up your XP. Does anyone know of a potential Web3 Solana? Don't understand that question. Just got a bag of Camino. Brilliant. And sound is cutting out. No one else has mentioned it, so it could be just your internet, unfortunately. And appreciate the love there. And have you heard that Herman's Entity gives you some discount on hotels at Singapore for Breakpoint? I did not. Maybe that is the case. I did hear a while ago that they like had some partnership with Travala or something, where it's like a 10% discount. So I will find that out. Maybe that's a big reason why the floor price is pumping. Cool. All right. Well, I think everything is covered there. Let's quickly let me just show you a few things on what to use with Camino. Just so people are a little bit aware for those that are interested. Just jump into tutorial wallet. Hopefully this is okay. All right, let's go. So what are some of the things you can do with Camino Finance? Let me show you right now. So this is Camino Finance, Camino.Finance. I've connected my wallet. I'm generating points. When you generate points, these points will actually change over to Camino tokens with each season. So season 2 has already done, and then season 3 is ongoing. If we have a look at Camino, we can actually go and, if we've been using it before, we can go and claim any Camino tokens. We can claim and stake them. Now, this is not available in all countries. This is not legal advice, but VPNs could be used to access this if you needed to withdraw any funds you had in there. If you need any further information on that, you can check out Discord. Some countries that can't use it are UK and USA, and I'm unsure of others. So this has now been auto-staked in here. And then I've got some other Camino tokens that are staked, but I can unstake this immediately if I want to. So governance and staking. Can't see it immediately here. Let's give it a refresh. Turn on auto connect with Solflare. Okay, so my stake here is very, very minimal. This is a tutorial wallet. Personally, I've got a lot more than this, and I'm just accumulating it and I'm staking it. So this gives you a boost. More on that in another video. Now we've got 4 different products here. But first, let's have a look at my portfolio because I'm already actually using this slightly. You can see I am borrowing some with Sol. I'm borrowing some USDC in the borrow lent, and I'm longing. I've been longing this. Let's have a look when I started longing. I've been longing Sol from let's have a look. Earlier, so August 3rd, for about a month, I've been longing Sol, and my profit and loss, it is not doing well. I haven't been liquidated or anything like that. As far as I'm aware, my LTV is fine. My leverage is here, but this is a leveraged up. So once Sol picks on up to like 160, 170, then this will be back in profit and loss. So we've got long and short as an option. This is done differently to if you're using an exchange, because you actually end up paying less of a borrow rate. And it's more if you want to go like 1.5 to 3 times leverage. It's quite low. You can quickly go to short to Sol bear, but it's more for, in my opinion, being bullish longer term. It's very simple. What you do is you take your Sol and you deposit some Sol, and then you borrow USDC, and then you swap that to Sol, and then that's how it goes. That's how it goes well. Of course, leverage is something you need to be mindful of. Multiplier is another thing I've covered before, but basically you can go in with different assets such as JLP, which is Jupiter's liquidity provider token, and you can deposit it into this. You can then borrow USDC to buy the JLP token, and you start to accumulate more and more rewards. In terms of leverage settings, nothing is financial advice, but I like to stay like under, like around 2.5 is kind of my max. It's just a little bit safer. In general, I think JLP will outperform a lot of tokens, and it will go up and up and up. Just September is not going to be an up month, but I'm still using it for that. If you want to do LP liquidity farming, you can do it with Camino here as well. and they offer a lot of good vaults that give you extra rewards. So you can keep an eye on a couple of things. One is Orca, Radium, and Meteor. These are the three main dexes. Anything with Meteor is my preference, as it gets Meteor points, which will be transferable in the future to some sort of token. However, ultimately, you want to get a good yield. When you see this lightning bolt, you can see that this is getting incentives. So this one is MSOL and Sol. It's getting Marinade incentives from the Marinade team or DAO. This one here, PYUSDC, this is getting incentives of 15.64%. So if we had just stable coins in here in our position, we would go and claim them like this. And then we can do what we want with them. We can buy some Sol with our $15 worth of PYUSD or whatever, or we can put it back into the pool if we want to actually grow that. But one thing when it comes to anything with liquidity and farming, be very, very aware of what divergence losses. Basically, if one price of an asset goes down, the other one goes up, then you can be left with a lot less than what you started with. The perfect thing about this is if we go and take a token such as Cloud, we can have a look at the performance. Don't know why this UI is doing this. Oh, here we are, Cloud. We can go have a look at the performance and see how it's doing. Okay, so Cloud and INF, this has now been boosted. They stopped boosting this. I withdrew my liquidity, and now they've gone and added more Cloud. So I should go back in. When the fees are quite low, it's probably not a good idea because impermanent loss is not going to be worth it. My position, if we have a look at my position, there's nothing here, but this is where we'd claim our incentives, and then we can do what we want with them. Cloud is going on a bit of a run right now. So if we have a look in the last 90 days, if we just held the two tokens, the community strategy would have outperformed. It would have been at a loss, but it would have outperformed. If we just held Cloud, we would have outperformed. Now, that's just due to a very recent pump here. Otherwise, it wasn't actually very, very strong, but Cloud just pumped up. But you can see all these analytics yourself, and you can go over 30 days or 7 days. So you can see, are you actually outperforming the market? You can see with this as an example, if you just held Cloud, you'd be up 71% compared to 15%. So you don't put in everything into liquidity, but it is something, if tokens tend to go up or down at the same level, and if you want both of them, it could be something that you're very, very keen on. So that's why I mentioned something like JTO, sorry, not JTO, Jito Sol and Sol. It's earning very, very little, but you are getting those points. And normally you get daily JTO rewards, but it looks like that ended as well. Now, the other thing, and probably the thing I use the most, is borrow and lend. You see I've got Sol here, and I'm borrowing some USDC. One thing that you can do is if you've got like some Sol or some Jito Sol, you can come in here. And remember, Jito Sol is Sol that earns yield, same with Jupe Sol. So you can go and stake with validator.com, and then you can go to another website, which is just jito.network. And if you need a DeFi with it, you just connect your wallet, Solflare, connect, and then you click stake now. And you can see this one in this tutorial is Jupe Sol, but in my main wallets, I've got a lot of like validator.com Sol, and you can actually convert this to the Jito Sol LST. And then from there, you can use it in DeFi if you want. So as an example, you put it into here, you deposit into it, you supply it. You earn a very small amount, but then you can go and borrow against it. So let's say you wanted to deposit even just some Sol or Jito Sol, that's fine. You deposit it here when right now, say Jito Sol, the price is like, well, we'll use Sol. Right now, we want to deposit some Sol at $130. We go and deposit this. We know that Sol's $131, and we decide we want to buy a little bit of, we want to borrow a little bit of USDC, or if we can, PYUSD, because it's even cheaper. So we'll see if we can borrow a little bit. Maybe we want to buy something like $50 because we think maybe Sol's going to go up. At the same time, let's see if this transaction goes through. At the same time, let's try one more time. Okay, it doesn't look like that's going to go through for whatever reason. We'll just borrow some USDC. So we may think that Sol is going to go up in value, and we want to go and buy some with our USDC. That's just one thing. Or we might want to just take the USDC, cash it out, and go and spend some things in real life, right? So we can approve this, and then from here we can go to Jupiter or into our Solflare wallet, and I can go and take some USD coin, like $50 worth, go and swap it into Sol, and then confirm. And now I've got more Sol exposure. I could do that into JITO-Sol, then it accumulates value. I could come and I could put, that 0.37, whatever it is, back into here, deposit it, and have more in here that's earning a little bit of yield by being supplied out as well. And then if Sol goes up, we could just go and withdraw some of that. We could sell it for USDC, and then we can go and pay down our actual position right here by clicking on this and then clicking repay from wallet, and we'll just go and decrease it just like that. That's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is quite often you can go and borrow PYUSD here. You can borrow in the main market, and then you can come into the Athena market, and you can supply it, and it's not earning a crazy boost right now, but you're basically earning an extra 2%. Rates have come down quite significantly. Each market is done very differently. Alternatively, you could borrow this, you could swap it for USDC, and then you can go and supply it here, or you can supply it in the JLP market because it gets more. So they're just some of the things, some of the products that are available with Camino right now. And the great advantage of this is the fact that you have 4 major things in one dApp. So same team, if you need support, same tickets, same smart contract auditors, everything like that. And everything is just here so you can work it out. And that's one of the many reasons why I love Camino. All right, that's all. Catch you. Oh, one more thing on this, actually, sorry. There's also the altcoin market for WIF and BONK. So if you're bullish on WIF or BONK, you may want to accumulate some. You can go and deposit it into here. You're not going to earn anything from it. But if you've got a massive BONK bag and you're speculating that this is going to do well, you can borrow 40% maximum. That's when you get liquidated. So maybe like 20% of USDC. So if you have $1,000 worth of BONK, you can put in here and you can go and borrow here. However, it's a high borrow rate, so just keep that in mind, but it's still maybe very well worth it. Or you can go and supply USDC into this here at like 8%. And then quite often you will earn points with everything that you're doing. Not everything tends to get points though. We'll need to double check which things get points with the team. That's all. Go use Camino. Check it out. Nothing's financial advice, but I personally love it. It's my favorite kind of DeFi farming app out there by far. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you in the next video.